Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the Ncwlife Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And even though we had a beautiful day today, we are seeing a little bit of smoke out there as we take a look at the Wenatchee Valley from our cross camera, from our Sky-Fi tower cam up at Wenatchee Heights. And there is a little bit of haze, especially up towards the Cougar Creek fire. But I'll tell you what, air quality to our north in Okanagan County near Twisp and Winthrop in the very unhealthy range today, around 183. So some smoke from that Crescent Mountain fire definitely affecting the folks up in Okanagan County. Here in Wenatchee, our air quality today about 42. And that shouldn't change much because we have wind on the horizon. That will begin tomorrow, where we could see wind gusts between 20 and 25 miles an hour in Wenatchee. That will go down somewhat on Thursday. I don't think we'll see quite 20 mile an hour wind gusts on Thursday, but maybe 15 or so. And they're still going to be out of the northwest, so most of the smoke should stay away from the Wenatchee Valley, but can't say the same for you folks once again in Twisp and Winthrop, and even you folks in Ardenvor and in Entiat could also see some smoke over the next couple of days. We'll talk more about your weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A Seattle man is in custody today after a one-vehicle accident near Cle Elum killed a teenager and injured 3 others Monday afternoon. And school starts tomorrow around many parts of north central Washington. And in the Wenatchee School District, students will be welcomed by a new 10-gig fiber internet system. But first, we begin tonight. If you live in close proximity to areas burned by recent wildfires, there are some things you need to be aware of after the fire is out. The over 41,000 acres scarred by the Cougar Creek fire could be vulnerable to problems later this fall during the rainy season. Annie Schmidt with Chelan County Fire District 3 offers some timely advice on how you can protect yourself and your property from damage going forward.
Hi, my name is Annie Schmidt and I'm the Public Information Officer with Chelan County Fire District 3 in Leavenworth. Today we wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the impacts to homeowners, landowners, and residents who live adjacent to or downstream from recently burned areas. So if that sounds like you, if you are renting a home, owning a home, spending time in an area that was recently burned, you need to be aware of the hazards that can exist post-wildfire. So for those people who are downstream or next to a steep slope that was impacted, you can expect for the next 5 years to be at a little bit of an increased risk for debris flows, flooding, mudslides, and other fire-related post-fire slides off of those hillsides. And so it's really important that we do 3 things. 1, we want you to be aware of the risk. You need to understand what evacuation areas are available to you, how to get out of your home or drainage quickly and safely, and spend some time listening to the National Weather Service NOAA Weather Radio. If you don't have one in your home, get one. That can be one of your first and best lines of defense. 2, we want to make sure that you contact your insurance company. Not everyone who lives in the uplands is covered for floods or debris flows, but if you are adjacent to those areas that have been impacted by wildfire, you need to call your insurance company and see what kind of coverage you have and whether or not it's appropriate to increase that coverage. The 3rd thing that you can do as a landowner or homeowner is try to reduce or mitigate those risks by taking some actions around your home. In our area, landowners can call Cascadia Conservation District or visit them at their website, cascadiacd.org, and they can come out and take a look at your property and recommend mitigation actions. You want to keep those culverts clean, make sure that your heavy outdoor furniture has been moved inside or is secured, and make sure that you are paying attention, as we mentioned, to those weather impacts and potential weather. So call Cascadia, get some help, mitigate your risks, pay attention to what's going on around you, and please, if you do encounter floodwaters or debris flows, don't try to drive through it. Turn around and seek higher ground. Thanks.
As of this afternoon, the Cougar Creek fire was reported to be 45% contained. Evacuation levels have been lowered on both sides of the fire in the Entiat and Chumstick valleys. Managers say the fire threat to residents has diminished significantly over the past 2 days due to the construction of a solid fire line along much of the western edge of the fire. The number of firefighters assigned to the fire has been reduced to 526 as crews are being reassigned to other fires. A Seattle man is in custody today after a one-vehicle accident near Cle Elum killed a teenager and injured 3 others Monday afternoon. Washington State Patrol reports 51-year-old David Cohen of Seattle was traveling east on State Route 970, 3 miles east of Cle Elum, when the SUV he was driving left the roadway, traveled down an embankment, and rolled several times, coming to rest on its top. A 13-year-old was dead at the scene, and 2 other 13-year-olds and a 12-year-old were all transported to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. All of the teens are also from Seattle. Cohen has been charged with 1 count of vehicular homicide and 3 counts of vehicular assault. None of the teenagers in the vehicle were wearing seat belts. Well, school starts tomorrow around many parts of north central Washington, and in the Wenatchee School District, students will be welcomed by a new 10-gig fiber internet system. The school district partnered with local telecommunications and the Chelan County PUD to install the new system back in June. Bob Shane, Director of Fiber and Telecom Systems at the PUD, says LocalTel will provide the internet service and the PUD will provide the pathway.
We're not providing the actual internet service. In other words, we're providing the pathway. The school district will put equipment on either end of that to facilitate the actual transfer of data, whatever speeds they need. Ultimately, what you have is very high capabilities for very high speed, very high levels of bandwidth, and also the school district has the control over the network in the sense that they're maintaining the endpoints, the active electronics, which is something that they desired to get out of this program or this solution.
Shane says these types of projects are fulfilling and says it was a great collaboration between LocalTel, the PUD, and the Wenatchee School District to provide a service that will benefit students.
It was, pleasure working with the school district and the local service provider to get this connection installed and in place for our customer owners. It's always a fun project in these kind of things, but it turned out to be the right solution for their application.
Tomorrow night on the Ncwlife Evening News, we'll talk to Dave Yancey, Director of Operational Technology at the school district, about what the new 10-gig fiber connection will mean for Wenatchee School District students this school year and beyond. Coming up next, officials at the Lighthouse Christian Ministries are still reeling from the recent theft of thousands of dollars in charitable donations. The United States and Mexico agreed on Monday to overhaul the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, and State Senator Brad Hawkins has announced the times and locations for his 12th District listening tour coming up in mid-September. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the Ncwlife Evening News.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities, providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Welcome back. And in other news, officials at the Lighthouse Christian Ministries are still reeling from the recent theft of thousands of dollars in charitable donations. The theft was reported last week from the old warehouse on Columbia Street that the group has been repurposing for their new chapel, soup kitchen, and clinic.
Somewhere between 2,000 and maybe or 3,000 minimum up to 20,000. We aren't really able to know the full amount until we've talked to each person. We do know that there was a stack of mail, about 20 or 30 envelopes that was taken. Somebody had broken in, drove a car or a larger vehicle through the steel garage door and went directly to the box. And we know they had tried to cut it with bolt cutters to get the lock off, but they ended up not being able to get it in that way, so they smashed it into bits and took the donations for about a week's worth of funding campaign and then left with it. That was the morning of the 13th on August.
Lighthouse pastor and general manager Sean Arrington says the theft eats into an already sparse budget.
We were in the middle of a funding campaign, which meant that every dollar donated was being matched by other people that were willing to donate as we gathered those funds. So for example, the $1,000 check that was donated was going to be $2,000 towards the project. We were raising our last $30,000 out of the $200,000 that we needed to finish this project to have everything go according to schedule. So without those funds in there, then obviously that affects our construction schedule. And with it being at the most ideal stage, we were hoping to open by November.
The organization is reaching out to the community for help in replacing the lost funds. For more information, contact the Lighthouse Christian Ministries through their website or mail your donation to them at 410 South Columbia Street in Wenatchee. The hope to open the new facility by Thanksgiving. Well, the United States and Mexico agreed on Monday to overhaul the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, putting pressure on Canada now to agree to new terms on auto trade and dispute settlement rules to remain part of the three-nation pact. In a press release, U.S. Representative Dan Newhouse said, quote, President Trump's announcement of a preliminary agreement to update the U.S.-Mexico portion of NAFTA is encouraging news for America's farmers and exporters who rely on access to our trading partners' markets. He also said, quote, while details of a final deal remain, the movement towards zero tariffs on agricultural products, increasing transparency to reduce trade distorting policies will strengthen the economic relationship with our southern neighbor, unquote. Officials said they hope Canada will agree to the terms by Friday, when the White House plans to formally notify Congress that President Trump will sign the deal in 90 days. Congress has to approve any new deal. State Senator Brad Hawkins has announced the times and locations for his 12th District listening tour in mid-September. Similar to his listening tour last fall, Hawkins will visit all 4 counties in the legislative district with his legislative staff. His tour this year will include some of the same stops as last year, such as Leavenworth, Wenatchee, and Chelan, along with a mix of new locations including Cashmere, Coulee City, Soap Lake, Waterville, Bridgeport, and Twisp. Log on to our website at ncwlife.com for the dates and locations. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. The NCW Life channel is proud to announce our 2018 fall sports broadcast schedule. Over the next 3 months, we'll be bringing you 21 live high school sports broadcasts right here on the NCW Life channel. We'll be featuring Wenatchee and Eastmont football, girls soccer, and girls volleyball. It all begins this Friday with Eastmont and Wilson football kicking off at 7 o'clock for Wildcat Stadium in East Wenatchee. Grant Olson and Mickey White will have all the action, beginning with our pregame at 6:45. Our first soccer broadcast is the following Thursday. Eastmont hosting Cashmere. I'll be alongside Matt Wisen for the call on that one. Our first volleyball game with myself and Leanne Branham will be on Thursday, September 20th. With Davis at Wenatchee. That's at 7 o'clock. For complete listing of our fall sports schedule, head to our website, ncwlife.com. We also shared a link on our Facebook page earlier this morning during Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, so be sure and check that out. Now, I just had a conversation before we went on the air tonight with Russ Waterman, the athletic director for Eastmont High School. I asked about the situation with the air quality as we're seeing it kind of devolve as the week continues and what that could mean for football on Friday night. He said the magic tipping number as far as air quality is concerned to cause a cancellation or a movement of the game is 150. If it looks Thursday afternoon like we're going to be tipping the scale at 150 or above on Friday, he said the game could be moved to either Moses Lake or Tacoma. So it's a wait and see for that coming up the end of the week. Well, tough news out of Seahawks training camp yesterday as Coach Pete Carroll announced that linebacker KJ Wright was having knee surgery.
He had a scope job. After the game, he didn't get hit or anything. He didn't have an episode. Just felt that maybe something wasn't quite right. And we took a good look at it, and so we're going to do a scope job and get him back really quick.
How many weeks do you know?
Don't know.
Opener.
I don't know that.
So no timetable yet. Well, the fingers are crossed on a smooth recovery for their Pro Bowl linebacker. The team continues to prepare for its final preseason game Thursday night against the Oakland Raiders at CenturyLink Field. Carroll says he and his staff, after reviewing game film from last weekend's loss in Minnesota, still very pleased with the performance.
Our guys went on the road, traveled really well. We handled it, played up the whole time. We ran and hit the way we like to. Our effort in the special teams was outstanding. Bunch of big hits. The thing that just didn't happen again is we didn't get the football, and so it makes it a hard game. We give it up once, and it's the difference in the game. So, so we learn those. We know those lessons. We hate keeping continuing to repeat it, but really liked the whole shift by our mentality. I think everybody relaxed and played football and played together and really energized each other in the way that this game's supposed to be played. So that's a real good outing for us.
Now, Coach Carroll says he's a huge proponent of the NFL's new rule on keeping the roster limit at 90 players until after the final preseason game. As a result, the Seahawks, as well as the rest of the NFL, will have a lot of decisions to make following this weekend's game. Again, that's Thursday night, CenturyLink Field. Former Wenatchee Apple Sock and current Seattle Mariner Marco Gonzalez was placed on the 10-day disabled list with a cervical muscle strain in his neck. Gonzalez, who struggled in his past 4 outings after a strong first 4 months of the season, was scheduled to start tomorrow in San Diego. The Mariners haven't made an announcement regarding a replacement in the lineup for him. The club, meanwhile, recalled outfielder Guillermo Heredia from AAA Tacoma to make Gonzalez's spot in the 25-man roster. That series opens today. Speaking of which, Seattle begins at 2-game set in San Diego tonight, 7:10. The embattled Felix Hernandez will get the start as he's back on the rotation after a brief stint in the bullpen. 8-11 on the season is King Felix, 5.64 ERA. The Mariners bats will face the Padres' Jacob Nix. The rookie right-hander 1-2 so far with a 6.17 ERA. Well, while the Mariners were idle last night, the two teams they're chasing played one another. As we go to the Les Schwab scoreboard, Alex Bregman and Tyler White combined for 6 hits, 2 homers, and 8 ribbies as the Astros erupted for 5 runs in the third, another 6 runs in the eighth to crush Oakland 11-4. It was Houston's 6th consecutive win and puts the Astros 2.5 games in front of the A's in the American League West. Mariners trail Oakland for that final wild-card playoff spot by 4.5 games. Finally, Colorado and the Angels combined for 9 runs in the 8th inning, but it was LA's 5 spot in the bottom half of that frame met the difference as they went at 10-7. The win snapped LA's 6-game losing streak. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, classes are set to resume Wednesday in the Wenatchee School District. In tonight's features story, the Wenatchee Police Department reminds motorists to be aware of students walking to and from school. Captain Edgar Reinfeld shared this public service message with NCW Life News.
Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department joins us here on the campus of Wenatchee High School as kids are getting ready to head back to school for the new term. I know that there are some things that the police department would like parents and students to be aware of from a public safety standpoint as we go into the new school year.
Absolutely. First and foremost, we're about to unleash thousands of children back on the street to get to school and get home from school every day. So in the morning and the afternoon, please be especially aware. It's the first week of school. A lot of kids are very excited. Their heads are somewhere else. So watching carefully to watch for little people darting out between cars, coming off the sidewalk, just generally running amok. It's a little bit compounded right now where we still have 3 construction projects at or near elementary or middle schools here in Wenatchee that are directly impacting the ability to get close to the school and get away from it easily. So the big ones we've concerns about right now, Sunny Slope Elementary, which is outside the city but very close, still has a road construction project going on. There will be some closures and some other difficulties for sidewalks. In front of Lewis and Clark Elementary at Princeton and Springwater, they're finishing putting in the sidewalks that were designed to be done before school started. They're going to miss it by about a week here, so about the first week there. And then at Orchard and Miller Street, right at Orchard Middle School, their sidewalks are also torn up while they fix the corners and the crossings to put in the ADA ramps and a couple of other indicators to improve pedestrian safety. So in those 3 areas especially, kids are going to be pushed probably more into the street than we would like, at least for a few days as we finish up these projects. By late next week, they should all be done. Should look a lot better for things.
Okay, now the kids that, of course, ride the bus to school, certainly parents make sure that the kids are out there ready for dressed well and ready for the school year as well.
Absolutely, and one big thing with school buses, if the red lights are flashing on the school bus, if the stop sign is out, it is absolutely unlawful to pass the bus. Do not pass the bus in that condition. And that goes for either direction. Just because you're coming at it, it's on the opposite side of the road. The stop sign is out, the red lights are flashing to allow children to cross the street in front of the bus is why it's there. Bus drivers in Washington State can take down your license plate, can forward it to our school resource officer or any other officer in the department, and you can still be issued a ticket for failing to stop for a school bus.
Obviously, motorists have some things to watch out for as well. Students returning to Wenatchee High School, public safety, I know that school violence in the past has been a big issue, but Wenatchee Police Department has resource officers on campus, and really kids got to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. You know, we have our school resource officer for the district, and he does spend most of his time here at Wenatchee High School, though he gets around to all the schools when possible. The biggest thing that we could ask of kids is to communicate with us. By time some perceived threat or some other rumor is running around and feeds its way through social media and stirs everything up and we don't know about it for several days, we don't gain anything. If we get told earlier, we have an opportunity to try to trace back to where the rumor's coming from, see if we have an actual threat of violence or some other action, or if it's just somebody trying to push buttons and see what we can make happen. We had an interesting issue last week that's not school related, but it was a social media rumor that was running around causing a bunch of confusion, and we put it down this weekend by simply issuing a report saying it's not true, and finally nipped that one in the bud. If we could get early contact in the same sorts of things here or at the schools, then we might be able to do the same thing and really calm a lot of people's fears and not let it spiral out of control for days.
I guess the message to parents and students, if you see something, say something.
Right, talk to us. We're here for you. We need to know what's going on, though, to be able to do what it is that we do to help you and to help the situation settle.
Good deal. Well, thank you very much, and good luck.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Steve Hare, NCW Life News. Thank you.
We'll be back with your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Oh, hey, Nate. What you doing there?
I'm just reading a book.
A book? I didn't even know they made those anymore. Where'd you get it?
Right down the street at Ye Olde Bookshop.
Ye Olde Bookshop, I'm gonna go check it out.
If you're looking for a good book to read or you're in the market for some beautiful handcrafted creations from local artisans, look no further than Ye Olde Bookshop right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
And welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. Time now for a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. And let's get right to it and see what we can expect as we move into Wednesday afternoon. Today was gorgeous. Tomorrow will be nice too, but a little bit breezier. West winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. We could also see gusts to 25 miles an hour. And keep an eye on the lines on our map. Those are isobaric lines of pressure. And as those lines get closer together, that's where we see the windiest locations. Thursday, a little bit wider spread in those lines throughout our area, not quite as bad. And then just beautiful on Friday. Sunny skies, mild temperatures will stay just slightly below normal as far as temperatures go. At Saturday, the same way as we head into the upcoming weekend, very light winds. We'll see winds actually on Saturday out of the west-southwest as our big area of high pressure begins to flatten a little bit out in the Pacific. By Sunday, sunny and mild with light winds. We should see high temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees, and it looks just great for Labor Day as well with partly cloudy skies and highs once again in the upper 70s. Let's take a look at that quick lube and tune forecast. We will see lows tonight around 61 degrees, 86 was going to be our high today. I don't think we're going to quite make that. 83, 85 tomorrow with 59 our overnight low. And then the cool down. There is a weak cold front that will slide through southern Canada, and that will cool us down just a little bit on Thursday. 77 the high, 54, one of the coolest overnight lows we've seen in a while. And then back to just beautiful weather. 78 Friday, 81 on Saturday, 80 Sunday, and for Labor Day Monday, sunny and mild with a high temperature near 80. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz, and I will be in tomorrow morning for Steve Hare. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
This is TV. This is TV Set Free. TV everywhere from Localtel sets you free to watch what you want, where you want. Catch your favorite networks, including live TV, ready to watch on any web-connected device for no extra charge. That's TV Set Free. Enjoy the extra value Localtel delivers with TV everywhere. Visit localtel.net and sign up today.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solely on Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCW Life, your local TV channel. Give Solely on Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
I'm Jim Corcoran.
And I'm Ken Osborne.
And you're watching the NCW Life channel.